The ASUS ZenFone 3 Zoom, more specifically the ZE553KL, wow, that's a mouthful, has 32 gigabytes of internal storage and comes unlocked, and you can get this whole package for $333 at the time of this video. If you look at it closely, it really resembles an iPhone 7 Plus, especially when we flip it over and you can see the dual camera systems with a fingerprint sensor. The camera system on this device has laser and phase detect autofocus functionality, which allow you to kind of capture pictures really quickly. We'll take a look at some sample video towards the end of this video, so hang in there and we'll talk about some more specifications of this thing. Hopping into the settings, I kind of want to take a look at the actual storage. I have shot quite a bit of 4K footage because this device is capable of doing that. So when you get it, you have about 23 gigabytes of actual usable storage. The good thing about this device is that it is expandable. You just throw in a micro SD card and you can expand your storage that way. Additionally, as you can see how I have it set up here, it houses 2 SIMs and you can switch seamlessly through those. One thing that ASUS has done really well is skinned Android in such a way that it hasn't made me want to immediately head to the Play Store and install Nova Launcher. I really find this a pleasant experience, and it really runs quickly. One thing that I had to do initially is go down here and enable developer options so I can speed up the animations. After I did that, it was a fantastic and seamless experience. As you can see, this device is running Android Marshmallow. It does have an Adreno 506 GPU, so you are going to be able to play some games rather easily because it does boot them up rather quickly. One thing that you will note with the actual device here is that the screen itself refreshes a little slow. So when you initially get this device and you try to put it on video, you'll see how you can see the screen refreshing. I had to drop my shutter speed down a little bit to get it to kind of look normal. I'll throw in some examples here of some B-roll that I shot, and I noticed that the screen refresh rate wasn't really that fast. It does have 3 gigabytes of RAM and runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 chipset. For the price of this device, the build quality is fantastic. It doesn't offer any kind of IP rating, so don't get this thing wet or expose it to the elements too much because it will, take a crap on you. One thing with that is it has a 5.5 inch 1080p screen, which I haven't had any issues with because I am using the iPhone 7 Plus here that has the same resolution. With that resolution, it comes in at a 16:9 aspect ratio, so you can consume media rather easily, and has 401 ppi. It is AMOLED display technology and is built from Gorilla Glass 5. Around the bottom, you are powering this device using USB 2.0 Type-C connector. You have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and you have one mono speaker because there is no speaker in the earpiece up here. On the front here, you also have a really nice camera sensor. It is a 13 megapixel shooter that allows you to shoot 1920 by 1080 video. It has a maximum aperture of f2.0. As far as power goes, this does have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery built in, and I've easily been able to get through a day without having to charge this thing up. I will say that I have been using this as my secondary device, and it has been performing really well for me. One thing that you will note that because it does only have USB 2.0 technology built in, you're not going to get any kind of fast charging capabilities out of this thing, so keep that in mind. One thing that I was really surprised with when I got this device in hand is that ASUS gave me a TPU case as well as a pair of earbuds to kind of listen to my music and protect my device without having to worry about hitting Amazon and getting a case right away. They do include a USB Type-C cable as well as the wall charger, and this wall charger is capable of outputting 5 volts at 2 amps. All right, so here's a demonstration of the ZenFone 3 Zoom's front-facing camera. It is a 13 megapixel shooter with a maximum aperture of f2.0, so you're going to be able to get some good selfies in moderately low light. One thing to note with this is that the max resolution is 1920 by 1080, so that's what you're going to get. I wish ASUS would have thought a little bit more about that, because this is a rather large sensor that they could have probably pushed it to 4K. Now on to the rear facing cameras of this smartphone. They're both 12 megapixels. The wider angle is a 25 millimeter equivalent, and the telephoto goes to a 2.3 times crop factor as well as a 5 times crop factor, and in that it is equatable to a 59 millimeter focal length. So with that said, these cameras perform really well because they have laser autofocus as well as face detection. Additionally, ASUS has left the ability to keep image stabilization while you are recording in 4K, because this phone is capable of recording 4K footage on the rear-facing cameras. Most smartphone manufacturers at this price range disable that ability when you are shooting at such a high quality resolution. Anyways, let me know what you think of this footage. It's also kind of a sample on how the microphone performs, because I do have a highway behind me. Is it picking up my voice good enough for the quality or the price of this device? I think so. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this sample. Before I close, I must disclose B&H was kind enough to send this thing out to me for review and to bring you some coverage on it. Without them, this video would not have been possible. If you're interested in pricing and availability, like I said, hit the link in the description and check it out. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If not, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I am Tomas, and I'll see you in the next one.